Hey guys, welcome back to Vince Fell Custom. So today I'm sharing with you a Pyro X-Men Garage kit that I just finished painting up. Now we did some custom work on this to make it look more like the animated cartoon from what the design of the original sculpt was. I think the way they designed it was more of like a modern take on it, but my friend that I painted this up for, he wanted to go more toward the classic cartoon look, and that's kind of what we follow now. So we'll kind of go over the custom work and stuff, but you can see he does have two heads. So it's not a change of torso, it's a change of head with the collar piece. So you have the one classic here that we kind of sort of tweaked up, and then you have this one over here. Now this one is okay. This is kind of more of like, I guess, a modern take on it, or kind of, I'm not really sure what this one is. Not really a fan of Pyro or a lot of the villains of X-Men, really, or like the cartoon. I mean, I watched the cartoon back in the day, but I really, only watched it once, and I think that was all, but I'm not really sure of this, so I guess it's kind of more of a modern take, or maybe a what if. I'm not really sure if the designer or producer wanted to do something different, or maybe in the comics there was something different at one time, but I mean, from Pyro, I pretty much remember the cartoon too as well. So the flame over on his hands are changeable, so he's got these two little bursts that come out too as well, but instead of putting those in the box and stuff, my friend wanted me to sort of kind of like etch out or like Dremel out something in a display bus so you could put those next to it, and that's kind of what we came up with. So you can kind of see I pretty much Dremel out two holes. I put some A's in there to kind of fit it in, and then basically they're displayed there now on the bus, but I put little cracks there like it's bursting out. So at least he has something that can kind of display. Now honestly, I'm not really a fan of the way they designed it, because instead of being able to swap out the heads but keep both collars in, you have to use this collar and this head, or that head and that collar. You can't switch out the head separate. So it's kind of a little bit of a weird design, to tell you the truth. Really, what they should have done is they should have been able to have both collars swappable, but both heads swap on each collar, but you can't do that. So it's kind of weird on how they set it up. But whatever, I think my friend's gonna just keep this one the way it is. But pretty straightforward. Really cool looking kit. There were some issues with it. I'm gonna go over what we kind of fixed, but I mean, it's a really great design. I mean, if you like classic X-Men type characters and villains, this is definitely something that is perfect for your collection. So, getting a little bit closer, we'll go over some of the things that we cleaned up and we fixed, and we'll kind of break it all down for you. So, first things first, he had a diamond on his chest, just like the diamond here on this chest. But what my friend wanted to do was take that out and put the flame symbol. Now, if you look on the cartoon, some of the flame symbols sort of are like curved and stylized a little bit, but some are kind of like a perfect pattern. So we went back and forth, and we kind of were trying to design this out. So after some trial and error, what we did is we came up with a little bit of a stylized flame. So it's not like perfect, and I think it worked out better that way too in the long run, because it just trying to make it perfect and make it like in a cartoon the way they sort of had it just didn't work. But after we kind of did this, it worked out pretty well. Now he did have these lines on his pants, so there was some kind of it was kind of like a stylized line coming here, like of this was kind of like stitching or something. So my friend wanted to take that out. Now, when I started to take out those lines and stuff, the crotch area kind of was like at an angle. Like I think whoever sculpted this sculpted the anatomy, and then what they did is they sculpted it like the cloth on top of it, but instead of like kind of like tweaking it and working it, they just kind of built on it, so it kind of looked weird coming underneath here. So I fixed that, and then as I was fixing that and I came around the back, he actually had poopy pants. Now you might, if you look in the video, in the beginning of the video, he had some weird sculpt underneath here, and it looked like he actually had poopy pants. So I told my friend, I said, yo, I don't know what the hell this is back here, but he's got like poopy pants. You want to take that out? He's a guy you're never really going to see and stuff, but I was like, nah, man, we got to fix it. It's just, it just didn't look right. So it just took me about, 15 seconds or something to go into the garage, Dremel that area out, because I had some A's already on the table when I contacted him, and then I fixed up the area. So, you know, you got to have a good booty shot for him too. So we fixed that and everything for him as well. So we got rid of the poopy pants, and we pretty much just went ahead and painted everything up. So you can see basically in the back thing what we did is the collar is a Spaztec basic red out of the spray can, which gives you that like plastic look. And then this metal piece here is Spaztec chrome silver with Spaztec clear red on top of it. This right here is AK Interactive steel, because I figured this would look kind of cool with steel and that steel as well. But with the what was it? With these little pieces here for the flamethrowers, this is that other company of I forget the metallic red. I forget what it was called. So I figured it would be better to kind of have this red here what he wanted, this here a metallic red, and this here a different red, just to kind of break everything up. Now instead of making everything the same color, we have different colors and stuff that breaks it all up. And then we kept the what was it, the steel on top of those pieces for the flames to come out. And I guess in the original 3D artwork, what they did was they had it so it looked like these pieces get hot, and it has that little bluish reddish like you know, like the flame hits against metal and stuff. So that's what we did on all those pieces. So that's what he wanted to follow on all that. So that worked out pretty well. As for his orange, that was a back and forth. I kept telling my friend this was the worst project I ever worked on because of the changes, but I was just messing with him. It was fine. What it is when I work on these items and I send a picture, if it's in my photo booth here, or if it's on my desk in the studio, or if it's in the airbrush booth, the colors always look different because I usually just take quick pics with my iPhone or the iPad. And those, what they do is they pump up the colors so much, it's very hard to see what they actually look like in person. But the artwork he sent me in an email is what I kind of followed. So the orange is basically a flat, you know, very flat orange. But the yellow, we gave it a little bit of a satin look, so it looks shiny. So it looks more like that, like, I guess you can say, like a fire, you know, outfit, like a fireman's outfit, but it's yellow. So that's kind of what I did with that on there. You figure with the gloves and on the legs and stuff, it works out pretty well. And as far as the boots, that's also another red that's different from the other reds on the item. So that's pretty much a Citadel red with some mahogany in there, and that kind of worked out pretty well with that. And of course with the base, it's got this really cool, like, you know, metal plate texture. So what I did is I did Spaztec chrome on that, and then I used Citadel Warlock bronze washes, and I gave it like a really rusty metal look, so it kind of works out perfect for him. It's probably hard to see in the camera and stuff, but it's got a really good look to it and everything. As far as the face, you know, just some flesh tones with the teeth and stuff. So he wanted the goggles on here to be like a sunglasses, like a dark color. We did I kind of messed up. What it was is he wanted these to be the dark color, and he wanted these on the bust to be that clear red. I thought I put them on correctly when I airbrushed them, and it turned out I did it opposite. So when I was ready to glue them in, I was like, crap. So I had to actually strip them down again, buff them up, and then paint them correctly. So these goggles were actually the black ones are kind of like bluish ones. They are Garage Kit's Payne's Gray Transparency. I still have a bottle left, and I was able to use that transparency on these goggles, and it worked out pretty good. Because when I first tried to do them, I used some other transparencies, didn't work out too well. But this one right here for this thing is just the clear red from Spaztec. So the clear Candia Apple Red worked on that one. And of course for this collar piece here, it's the same thing. It's Spaztec Chrome Silver with clear red on top of it, and I just went with it. Now, I saw the way they did the color rendering. They had this like yellowed here, and this was yellowed. I figured that most of the old artwork is just that the triangle is kind of yellow and everything else is red. So I kept everything red, but I kind of did some, you know, like little brush marks of worn metallic on it and stuff, what I did with the backpack on the back as well. Now, one of the things that is kind of weird when I finish this off, which is I have to explain, this clear red flame here was actually perfect from the factory. There was really nothing to do other than clean it up, give it a clear adhesion promoter, paint some oranges and reds into it, and then gloss coat it, and I was done. Now these two fire bursts here on the bust were actually a nightmare. I don't know what the factory did on this, but I actually, when I was ready to paint up these clear pieces, because I saved them to the end, I picked these up out of the box, and I started to see little flakes coming off of these, right? And I figured, oh, that must be a casting, like, you know, flashing or something. So as I started scratching it, I realized that there was weird plastic film coming off everywhere. And then when I used the toothbrush on it, all the deep crevices in there started, like, flaking out, and it started flaking more and more and more, and I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. So I thought maybe it was like the painted I thought it was a clear casting, and they painted yellow on top, and the yellow was flaking off. But to my surprise, it is casted up in a clear, like a translucent clear yellow, but they must have, I think they kind of clear coated it with a paint or something to try to pass it off as really super shiny, but it was flaking like crazy. So there was no way in hell I was going to be able to paint these pieces. So I decided to get some nail polish remover, because I wasn't about to dip these in acetone. There was no way. So I got like one of those like nail polish remover bottles over at like a Walmart that is kind of like the safety kind. But so what I did is I dipped these in there, and I used a toothbrush, and I started to like wash them out. And whatever clear coat was on here, it actually started to come off like gum, like melted gum that was peeling. And it took a good while to really get all that film off these pieces. So it was really, really, really strange. But after I got it all out, I washed it all up, I cleaned it up, I used my clear adhesion promoter, and then I went ahead and did my little bit of the orange in there and the reddish, and then I gloss coated it, and it worked out pretty well. So it was a very, very strange thing. Normally, you know, you get a kit, once in a while there's a weird thing here and there, or there's an issue or whatever, but those things were weird. Couldn't really figure that one out. But all in all, it worked out pretty well. So, and I guess the last thing too is his hair. So instead of just doing yellow hair right out of the bottle, it's got a like sort of a very soft yellowish hair. So you can kind of see here as well. So it doesn't really pop the same yellow as the outfit. Just kind of meant to make sure those, you know, different. Now, another thing too is the mouths were actually magnetized. They're actually magnetized to go into the face. So it was a little bit easier to paint them up. But the thing is, you can't swap them out. And even if you could swap them out, they're so tight and they're so hard to get into the mouths that literally, like even if they were swappable, it's so tight that you would probably scratch the faces trying to swap them. So that was kind of a cool thing though, to be able to paint them. But you know, that's just the way it is. So that is the Pyro kit. Pretty straightforward. Other than the weird stuff on the flame balls and the poopy pants, it went along pretty well. So that is pretty much it. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with some more videos.